Amazing year. It's an amazing time. Just on Monday, June 3rd, was the celebration of Vaccine Risk Awareness Day. That makes this Vaccine Risk Awareness Week. And today I really want to celebrate the amazing work that's taking place all over the world. I was just in Brooklyn on Tuesday night speaking once again to the Jewish community that finds itself under threat by laws in New York that have attempted to quarantine free people, to keep them from going to public spaces. Now they're stopping people on the streets, threatening them, even bringing sanctions against them and fines. Yeshivas are being fined in New York that have children that aren't vaccinated. So this issue is obviously, the energy around it is growing to a massive level, to a very intense level. I think that's a beautiful thing. We're going to talk more about that experience I had in Brooklyn on Tuesday night. But first, I want to talk about the fact that this isn't just happening in America. We can feel like we're living in a bubble, that we're the only ones thinking about this issue. And I think a lot of times, partly it's because of the ego of America, that somehow we're the most important and we are driving this issue. That is true. The world does follow the CDC and the things that come out of Health and Human Services, which leads the World Health Organization. But you have to remember that we're not alone in this. And in some cases, in other countries, they may even be ahead of us. But there's still protests happening all around the world. And I want to talk about that. In Poland, just last week, huge numbers gathering in Poland that are looking at vaccine risks and issues and challenging their government in rallies all across the country, which is really interesting. I mean, a totally different culture that is also looking at this vaccine issue in their own experience. And then Italy, of course. We've talked so much about Italy. In fact, many of us have been watching Italy because it seems like it's a step ahead of us. It's on the forefront of this vaccine discussion. It's the first country that actually appeared to have politicians that were running on a vaccine risk awareness platform and were being elected. And I think we all thought, well, that's it. Italy's got it working out. But actually, there are protests happening all across Italy right now, too. Here's what that looked like.
Però sono preoccupata adesso perché anche i bambini che hanno avuto delle reazioni gravi, ho smesso proprio di respirare. Qui c'è tutto l'esposto che io ho fatto e qui oggi non ho ancora risposta.
Io conosco bambini morti per il vaccino, ok? Bambini morti per il vaccino non ne conosco, lei ne conosce?
Io so di
allora non fate questa disinformazione, perché la gente muore per il morbillo, la gente muore per la meningite, non muore per il vaccino, perché su queste cose io veramente
dico la
Well, I am really excited for your...
Now, for people to think that we are crazy, those of us who are anti-vax, I wouldn't consider myself anti-vax. My issue is give people all the information, the good, bad, and the ugly concerning vaccine, and then let us make a decision based on the truth of the science, if the science has really been done and the science is correct and not be manipulated. Give us the truth and then let us decide if we want to put those stuff in our bodies. But you don't give us the truth. You just tell, oh yes, it works, it's good. Based on what? Because for years and years, people have trusted the doctors, just like Christians have trusted the pastors for years and years without any question, without asking any question. If the pastor say everything, anything you run with it. If your doctor say anything, you run with it. Is your doctor God? Is he the one in charge of your body? Are you not the one who's up to make conscious, health-wise decision concerning your own body? Is he going to live in that body when you get sick? Is he going to be the one uncomfortable? Is he going to be the one to take care of you, or your family members going to be the one who will be stressed, emotionally, financially stressed to take care of you? Listen, for this kind of massive protest all over the world, the government of the nation of the world should stop and begin to listen and pay attention. But I find it they won't listen because most of the government officials have their hands in the pocket of Big Pharma. So what do we expect? That's when the people have to rise up. When the people rise up, the government have no choice but to do something. Listen to the people and do something, and take whatever legal action or whatever governmental or legal action that is necessary to find out why we are making all this noise. Now, if you call yourself a Christian and you happen to work in the medical profession, my only advice to you is before you write this off, and don't take this personal as if you're going to be out of a job, and before you write this off, I'm going to advise you to go ahead and do your research on both sides. Don't just because I had somebody who said she's a doctor talking about where is the science, I want to see this in the American Medical Journal newspaper. I'm like, you expect the doctors to expose themselves? It's like you're expecting pastors to tell you their secrets. Come on now. Go and research. All these parents and all these people that are saying vaccine cause their children ADD, ADHD, autism, Down syndrome. Find that the research is out there, but the medical profession will not print this research because it's speaking against them. How do you expect them to preach? How do you expect them to print something in their journal that is exposing their wickedness? How do you expect that? Come on now. So listen here, America, we better wake up. The Christians in America, we better wake up. And poor Africa, Lord help. Who's going to speak up for Africa? Who's going to raise up a voice? Who's going to start a movement? Because when the big pharma and the Monsanto, when they realize they can no longer stop those information and poison the people in America, guess what they're going to turn it? Guess what's going to happen? Africa going to become their dumping ground. It already is, but it's going to become even more a dumping ground for the poison in the name of AKA. We're going to give you free, like Bill Gates is always in Africa giving out free polio vaccine, free malaria vaccine. He always giving us one free vaccine, or they giving out birth control to the young lady, only to find out they are sterilizing our people or probably infecting them with some kind of disease. And next thing you know, an epidemic break out. And they say, oh, Africa, the continent, they're full of disease. Do you know where the disease is coming from? From this very same Western culture, Western world, by the evil principalities that are known as Big Pharma, Monsanto, and the Bill Gates and them. But I don't care what they do. Their time is up. Their time is up. Their time is up. Matter of fact, I think 5 or 6 months ago, it wasn't a dream, it wasn't a vision. I was just going through a season where I was praying a lot in tongues, and one of the words that the Lord dropped in my spirit over and over, just kept repeating, is wave. Wave, W-A-V-E. A wave is coming. A wave is coming. So I said, Lord, what does that mean? And he began to break it down to me. And wave, it's a word, right? But it's actually it's also an acronym that he gave me within the word. The acronym is the word is wave, W-A-V-E. But the acronym, what it stands for is World Against Vaccine Everywhere, or Women Against Vaccine Every Day. That's wave. And what he shows me, what he also explained to me, wave, like if you go to the ocean and you see the wave of the ocean, he said there's a wave of people, and there's a wave of people that's coming on shore to watch, because you put something on the seashore and the wave will come and wash it and suck it in, right? So he said there's a wave that's coming, and a wave of people that's coming, and they're going to wash away all those things called Big Pharma, those vaccines. All those lies and deception they have fed people for years is coming out. So there's a wave of people coming, a movement of wave of people that's coming up. And the people actually are also the wave. There's a wave of people, but they are the wave that are going to come to the seashore and wash off those Big Pharma, the Monsanto, the FDA, the CDC, the UN, whatever other names they're hiding under. All those drugs that they're pushing day and night. You watch American TV, there is always a drug. Almost every American, if not maybe 90% or 80% of Americans, take some kind of drug for something. And when that drug doesn't work, or if it does work, supposedly works, you have so many side effects that you have to take other drugs to counteract the side effect from the ones you're taking. Before you know it, you're a drug addict and a drug pusher, isn't it? Look here, there's a wave. The wave has started to wash on the shore, and they're going to wash down all of you guys. No matter how you fight it, your time is up. And not only that, you're going to be exposed, and you're going to have to pay back for the lives you have damaged and destroyed over the years, making all these millions of dollars. You're going to pay back and go bankrupt after you have paid the people. Yes, I said it.
Our own ways. That video is going viral. People are getting stimulated to be out there and rise up in the streets once again. And to talk about that, I'm joined by Ambra Federigo, who is a journalist, an activist, a filmmaker, who has been in the middle of this. So I'm curious, Ambra,
Hello.
how are you doing? Thank you for joining us today.
I'm a mother.
And principally your
That's the
mother.
chapter I share the most. Yes.
Yes, that's the...
And that's the thing. And that's the only title that actually put me into this fellowship. Because I'm a mother and I'm a citizen, and I truly believe we have rights. Totally denying for our children. They want for our children. And that's what's making the system work, this rotten. So the thing is, of course, the propaganda does not take this. I mean, we don't even have to pay for that. I mean, we do, but we don't directly,
Right.
and we don't have to pay for that. But
You know, you're being fined for things. So that's, I mean,
anyway.
so obviously, Amber, we're. I think what's great for us to hear is that this is just not happening in America. You can see that there's a world push by the pharmaceutical industry, which is using the World Health Organization, other organizations, to take away people's rights. We're losing control of our bodies. You know, you're being fined for children not being vaccinated. People are being fined now in New York. And in New York, it's actually adults. They're now going after adults if you're stopped on the streets and you don't have your vaccination. So, you know, we're going to continue to follow this. I want you to keep reporting. I want to see those rallies as you get them together. Obviously, there's great people like you out there that are reporting on this and sharing this. And I want to thank you for joining us from Italy today and updating us on where you're at. Keep up the good fight. Conspiracy theory to say that there's a push for that discussion, because it really shows you. I mean, this isn't a conspiracy theory to say that there's a push to force pharmaceutical products into free people all around the world. It's something you really got to ask yourself. Even if you're pro-vaccine, does this sound like the way to do it? Does it sound appropriate that people are losing their rights all over the world, that one industry is going to own government agencies, is able to move in even when you see the politics shifting, even when you see people winning positions that say they believe in vaccine risk? I would guess that those politicians are just being overwhelmed right now. And the pharmaceutical, we've seen it when we rally, you know, in New York and